Dito tayo. Upo ka dito.
Tapusin natin yung build natin. So finally, tapos na yung bike ni Jeng. So ito yung bike niya. And that's my bike. So since my wife is taller than me, hence yung bike niya is bigger size. Pero as I mentioned dun sa initial video natin sa part 1 is the main difference other than the material is the geometry. So it's now crafted, design, developed based on my wife's measurements. Let's just wrap it up and take this opportunity na kasama natin si Coach Lian, which is our designer who developed and do all this bespoke bike titanium designs for us. And what you see here is an ongoing project, another titanium made to measure for Third, our mate from Nueva Ecija. So, Third is actually a pandemic biker as well. And he started with the Merida Sculptura. And then he shifted to a Bianchi. And then, during that stint, he basically started exploring upgrading the Bianchi so that he can figure out how he can improve the riding comfort. And after 2-3 years, after all the effort, expenses, man-hour that he spent, he had a chance to try to ride one of the bespoke bikes of Coach in Sitio Bag, and then there you go. It's just overnight. He figured out that it's time for him to upgrade. Yeah, upgrade to a made to measure. So, Coach, just help me to wrap it up. Give our friends, virtual friends, about what we are doing here.
This is where basically everything happens, and this is what we call our workshops. A lot of people seldom see behind the scenes action. You can call it action. Nowadays, there's a generation of cyclists right now who've never experienced what custom building is all about. Back in the 90s, you go to a bike shop, you buy your own frame, you buy your own group set, you find a mechanic, you build it. That does not exist at this generation. Now the situation is you go to a bike shop, everything is already built, and all you have to do is just try to choose which color you want to have, which model you want to have, what brand is your preference, and the only choice that you have now is sizing. And you have to figure out, whenever you go to a bike shop, theoretically, you're only given two choices. Two choices, that means either you're small, medium, or a small or extra small. It's always like that. You're only limited to two choices, one above it or one below it. And that started an explosion, and you've heard about it, bike fitting. There was no bike fitting back in the days. Now there's a lot of bike fitting involved because a lot of people who just bought a $10,000 bike, next thing you know, the promise of being a better climber, being a better sprinter, being a better time trialist, ends up in frustration, because then you realize you still have numb fingers, lower back pain, stiff neck, poor recovery. So what we wanted to do here in this workshop is that we wanted to go back to basics. Back to basics means that let's put the rider at the center of the conversation, where your posture is more important than the color of the bike, than the group set, than the material of the bike. Everything starts with the simplest, most basic foundation, which is the human posture. I always explain this to people in running. You go to a running shop, you buy a shoe, and then you end up having to ask the salesperson what size they have. And the amazing thing about the shoes is that there are so many increments, right? From 8.5, 8, 7.5. Plus, before you even buy it, they even allow you to use it.
Yep.
In fact, they're going to ask you to, sir, try it on, walk around, run around the mall, come back. If it fits, it fits. That does not happen in the bicycle industry right now. It's very rare. You're very lucky if you go to a bike shop and the bicycle shop owner would allow you to use a $10,000 bike to try. Very rare. Plus, the moment that you put on your check for that $10,000 bike, there's no guarantee that you're not gonna have numb fingers, lower back pain. It's literally the moment that you get out of that shop, it's you. Now the worst part is, and which is not being openly discussed, is as soon as you start riding that bike for a week and a half with your friends and you start experiencing all these chronic pains, when you go to the bike shop, there's no such thing as a warranty. They warranty the parts, but they don't warranty your happiness.
Yeah.
You know, that expectation that you're going to be happy because according to the advertisement, you're going to have this fantastic ride, 10 watts better than last year, etc. But if that's not achieved, there's no warranty behind it. And the worst part again of the story is they'll advise you, oh, sir, we cannot exchange the bike because it hurts you, but we know a bike fitter across the road, and all you have to do is just pay another $1,000 to have you bike fitted. The worst of the worst part is, after paying $10,000 on your brand new bike that you just bought 48 hours ago, when you go to a bike fitter, you pay him $1,000, and the bike fitter would tell you that your crank is 2.5 millimeters longer.
Yep.
From 170, you're advised to get a 165. Your saddle is wrong. You have to buy and it all adds up. So, but you know, I don't have to really elaborate on the story, but those are the normal stories, stories that are not being shared on social media platform. Since we know that basic idea, we said, why don't we just go back to basics? Let's start with the person and then build a bike around him. And to guarantee the art of this work of sizing people, if it does not fit you, then 100% refund.
Yep.
It's a paradigm shift, but it's the only way that we can help newbies skip the costly trial and error. So that's how it works out. So Alan over here, you see that every build we're here because we want to make sure that everything is up to spec. When the mechanic needs some clarification, I have to be here to guide him technically. So yeah, that's how it works out.
Thank you, Coach. And yeah, hopefully you learned something today. And let us know if you have any questions, because information is free. Enjoy.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Valentine's.